that they like to play into. But for Yams on Rise, I feel like they are just good at every single one, right? High ground, mid ground, and low ground.
You talk about high ground. Let's talk about a duo contesting that high ground. It's your FNCS Invitational winners, Cammy and Seti.
What it mean to me to win the global championship? I think it would be an amazing feeling because we both work so hard for this. It would be a back-to-back winning world, so just like very nice.
What will it mean for me winning the global championship? It will mean really a lot because the prize pool is like 4 times higher than it was the last time, and we will win back to back, so it will be really nice to win again.
The team with all the pressure on them, right? The reigning champions. People see them as. Have we got some Cammy and Seti fans in here? Anyone in here support Cammy and Seti?
There it is.
They're here. They're here.
Me as well. I should start cheering because, yeah, you mentioned it, right? Going for the back-to-back at international events. I guess the biggest question for everybody, Levin, can they do it?
I think the answer is a resounding yes, as long as they are uncontested, right? I think coming into this competition, people who thought they'd be uncontested consider them probably the favourites. Like their form coming into this has been unbelievable, but there is always going to be that question mark. We saw what happened in game one of the upper bracket qualifiers when they weren't contested. They got beat off spawn. It didn't quite work out. They did bounce back eventually and qualify, right? But there's always going to be that question mark of if somebody can rattle them off spawn, will that affect how they play?
Yeah, we'll have to keep a close eye on them in the early game, but I'm going to be paying attention to the late game. I saw in some of those upper bracket games, they were actually trying to counter-strat Queasy and Veno off the high ground.
They've been doing that a lot. If you've been paying attention to EU Fortnite, it's been different. I think
Hey, I'm not the temple of Baptism tonight, guys! Where's the fight?
But they've been looking at high. They've been playing for high, and they've been pretty effective. There were a couple of games where they were flanking Queasy and Veno on high. Those guys had no clue who was in the storm, but it was Seti and Cammy. These guys are ready. They've improved their games.
What I'm talking about, y'all are losing your minds. You guys are in the same place as we are. We want to see games. We are so
Avant de jouer
close, but man,
faut voir comment il joue.
it feels so good. There's so much electricity in the air. We saw them start.
On va pas se payer nous, les gars. On va voir les meilleurs. Allez, en avant.
Well, what can they do here? We've been talking a lot about how everybody has been
Trois
playing
mondiales ou
some of these
trois
games. Well, what about the eliminations? On day number one, both of them, a part of this duo, finished in the top 10 for individual eliminations. 10 and 11, respectively, for a combined total of 21.
They were popping off, right? And that's the kind of thing, especially when, we want to see controller players representing, he's a controller player. I think when it comes to how they play in this server, they need to stick to what was working with them. Be aggressive as possible when you can.
That's right, guys. I'm getting word we are so close. So let's kick it on up to Jacob PR and MDF to keep this moving.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Let's keep this show on the road. I'm so excited here. It's game one in just a few
moments. Español, motherfuckers.
That's right, and you already know it's going to be explosive. So as we start to gear up now, let us do it.
Dove sono los flagos? Pop, 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 pop. Ah, ça veut dire que c'est intéressant. Ça a été fait.
Game number one of the grand finals is upon us. We already know what is in store. Nothing but explosive action and early game congestion.
Yeah, we got a couple of off-spawn fights we've seen before. We got even more than that today for the first time. And I think the crowd already knows which ones they want to see right out of the gate. It's only a matter of time before these players actually drop down on this map. And there goes the first one. The crowd, everybody's been waiting for this one. The rematch, Thomas and Malabuka versus Kanata and Agers.
Kanata said it. He has the best drop. He's always going to touch first. And they do just that. But Thomas HD does have a weapon as well. Kanata has a side angle here onto Thomas HD. And he draws the first tag. It's a trade. But he gets the full finish. And he won't get healed. And now, Kanata and Agers are on top game number one.
We've already seen what they can do with the freedom of their drop spot. First place throughout the day, but they ended up in second. They're looking to mimic that type of play Cammy and Seti, even though they might have been contested to start day number 1, they were able to pull through. They pushed that team away, and now they have claimed Frenzy Fields as their own.
What an incredible set of eliminations over at the racetrack. But look, Seti and Cammy have to as well. Who would have thought they would have been contested here on the drop? So the Frenzy Field is not safe at all.
This is a little bit of that replay. That's Danis and Stain, and a monster shot already coming out from Seti. He finishes that one. On the other side of things, you've got to imagine Cammy chased them down. A huge start for our European powerhouse.
And vamos for Kitos and PH Zin also sitting at 2 eliminations here. That means the Shady being fully contested. They win their all-spawn fight. What a grand finals this is already. Multiple teams going head-to-head. It's Sphinx with the clutch up on Cammy and Carmi and Vanyak there.
That is huge. Sphinx to get both of those eliminations. Even though Pollo did go down, he has a chance to bring him back, but in the minimap, you already see 2 hungry teams looking at that direction. That's third-party opportunities. One of them is going to be Reet. The other one is going to be Rituals. All over the map, these teams are going to hear these fights, Monster, and they're going to try to third-party as fast as they can. They know Surge, it's hard to come by in lobbies just like this.
This is the fastest we have seen 14 players go down of any game we've watched over this entire weekend. Who would have thought this would be the most explosive time? Let's go take a look at some eliminations here. PH Jin took on Axe Force and Robot from down low. The ankles were so good, and this is how they converted.
Then a little game of hide and seek with Roban. Axe Force trying to do the same thing, but he's just getting spotted out from all angles. PHN looking like a Christmas tree ornament at the top, and he definitely uncovered his presence, and that's 8 points.
His eye drop. But hold up. Hold that thought. We have Podesai. We have Snazy already finding an elimination here. They're just going to hold on to the down body. And we already know what they want to do. They want to keep this body up and healthy to try to farm as much Surge as possible. That's the way you play it. MA Podesai, MA Snazy have worked so hard to get here. We saw the difficult hurdle that they have to overcome just to get here.
Yeah, I think they're looking for some barrels, anything that they can use to try to keep them alive. We've already seen this strategy on day 1, thanks to Zagu and Peppo Cliff. It was mimicked in day 2, and this is why teams know that Surge is going to be a hard thing. They're misting the down body. They're doing everything they can just to give themselves a little bit of an edge early on in this game. Even using the kinetic blocks, every single tool in their tool belt is coming out early.
Hey, listen, we know that pro players keep strategies hidden, but my gosh, everyone is putting this to use, and we have to honestly give all credits to Peppo, Cliff, and Zagu for revealing it early. But I think they put this strat on the map.
Yeah, here the French go very loud in the building. They like that strategy as well, and this is a fight I feel like we haven't talked too much about. Peterbot and Byla versus Booga and Threads over towards Sanguine Sweets. In theory, it's so big you can split this drop. There is a ton of loot, almost 100 chests, maybe a little bit fewer than that, but that allows for both of these teams to play the way that they want. One of them has already captured that bot, got to be Peterbot and Byla. So Booga and Threads, instead of contesting it, they're just trying to farm up. They're just trying to get their loadout set and ready so they can make their first rotation when the zone begins to pull.
Don't forget, Peterbot used to play with Booga as well, so there is some history there as they're going head-to-head, but Kaizen, Clement right now looking pretty solid here, just trying to get their rotation down. Pack team right on their heels. Meanwhile, Teeny potentially up against Thoric out there in the feed. We get to jump on over to Scented and Polarized versus the youngins here. Panyajin, Moneymaker's by himself. What can he do here?
Yeah, it was in game 5 where Moneymaker and 9 were able to qualify for this stage itself. Scented and Polarized did it by brute forcing their way through with already one knock. It's a 2v1 situation. And they're just trying to regain as much real estate as possible. All those pieces are theirs. Moneymaker's doing what he can to bob and weave in and out of these covers. But his back is up against the wall. He's getting trapped little by little. The first elimination is going to be cleaned up. And they finally get the second. Moneymaker goes down. Polarized and Scented make a statement at their drop.
Explosive, quick, easy, and trapped, put down. Well played for Scented and Polarized there. They're going to be happy about that. Threats lingering everywhere, though. How is this still happening? There are more fights happening. It's Muzz and Paper. This time, onto the Brazilian duo.
Muzz, the duo region champion from both OCE and NA teaming up with Paper. Paper's probably a very, very aggressive player. He knows how to play smart as well, just a full-on balanced play style. They switched up their drop spot from Breakwater Bay. They wanted to be uncontested, but quickly find themselves in yet another fight. But you see all these teams in the minimap, they're converging on their location because they want to try to get that free surge of what they think it is.
No one wants to fall behind, but now we get to look at Teeny and Nisha jumping inside. This is how Thoric was taken down there. Thoric and Bolts have a difficult task in front of them now that they have Nisha and Teeny. And that's the first time we've actually seen them find early success. They were contested in those other brackets, as we saw throughout the weekend.
Yeah, in upper bracket 1, they went ahead toward the north side of the map. They tried to go against Baka and Pars. They got pushed off. Then they went in their bag of tricks. They did exactly what they did to qualify up until this point, and those tricks will continue. And how long has it been, Monster? A couple of minutes already, and they're still farming that surge onto Striker. These guys are setting the bar high when it comes to Storm Surge. There's going to be very few teams that will be able to keep up with them if they keep at this pace.
Yeah, they're trying to get themselves well and far ahead of the competition. It's an excellent strategy, and it's hard to replicate. You have to put yourself in that position. It was how far they had to rotate just to get there as well. So positioning for that, setting up for that is no easy feat. You have to respect it, but this is high-level Fortnite. Here we go, though. First dash, Tayson. Big fight here. Chicho and Trulex on the other side of the Slappy Shores. Already gonna need a move here shortly, but Metal got to cap out first.
Yeah, this was another drop, or at least the south side of Slappy that was contested. Trulex and Chicho versus Quanti and TK. Either Quanti and TK rotated out fast, or they got dropped off very, very quickly by Trulex and Chicho. Find out about that later, but Acorn and Cold, probably one of the most dominating performance in the upper bracket, in the international stage for all that matter. They're looking to try to continue that run, but right out of the gates, we knew they were contested by both Pink and Vico, and it looks like both of these teams might have decided to split the drop. It's only game 1 of 6, so that could change very, very quickly, but they're trying to feel this lobby out. It's a much different set of players than they faced in that upper bracket.
Extremely proud of what Team Dignitas and Agent have been able to put together with their rosters. The performances are amazing, and again, grand finals, of course, is what matters most. We'll see where everyone ends up, but Flixie, Gripey here, seem to have been getting into a little bit of a hustle, a little bit of a fight here against our favorite Mr. Savage and Badil. Badil is one of the most dangerous when it comes down to toe-to-toe battles and defending in situations like this, but there's nothing you can do against two of the best. Flixie, Gripey, they closed it out.
Yeah, they've been battling it out almost all year long, from major qualifiers to major grand finals. Flixie and Gripey, you know what? I think they're a little underrated at this point. I think everybody who qualified for this lobby is dangerous. They need to be able to come out on top in a lot of these exchanges, and you cannot overrate any of your opponents at any stage of this game.
There's 2 reasons I wouldn't want to go toe-to-toe in an early box fight with. It's anyone from the previous NA West, now, of course, NA, but also EU players, and unfortunately, that's exactly who were the ones asking those questions. Pixie and Cheatin', however, though, are going to fend off several pair of EU ones themselves. This is match 1 of the grand finals. Things are already heating up. 81 players remaining in the lobby, and Pixie gets punished.
That's a huge amount of damage. Both of them getting dropped down low. Luckily for them, they do have the med miss at the very minimum, so they can get themselves up to tip-top shape. Mixon and Baja are the ones dealing a lot of that damage. They have the early game high ground, and they're willing to stay in Storm a little bit, even though they don't have any HP heals, because they realize how hard it is for Surge. You can find bandages, you can find berries, you can find a leftover med kit, but it's that Storm Surge that you're not going to be able to find for free.
They're very behind on material, so we'll see if they can bounce back. Duke and Edgy, what a performance we saw, arguably stealing away a moment of the weekend. The clutch from them, honestly solidifying their position, their placement here amongst the best. What are they going to be capable of here this weekend?
Duke, that clutch was just absolutely insane, and how supportive Edgy was as well. Just shows the chemistry between these two and why they are an NA FNCS champion, why they are playing in a lobby just like this. A lot of the players here know how to win in their region. It's the international stage that takes just a little bit more effort. Kaizen and Clement quickly trying to rotate. They're one of the teams. They just don't want to get stuck too far out in the zone. And I think if any of these 2 days have shown you anything, is you don't want to get stuck behind the rest of the lobby when they're trying to hold you out. It forces you to waste your heals. It forces you to waste all of your resources just to make it into the zone very, very early on.
Super proud of Worthy and Alex again, representing for OCE, the only team and duo from the OCE region to make it to the finals stage here, and they already have an elimination, something to be extremely proud of. They're on the move here. Gonna get dead center zone 3 right now. They've scored 30-plus points in every match coming out of day 1, and day 1, by the way, was the most difficult of the 2 brackets.
Yeah, and kind of shows how impressive it is because Kanata and Agers did the same thing. They got second, and I believe Alex and Worthy were somewhere like 6, at least into the top 7. Reason and Yanis here over towards Breakwater Bay, and they were traveling a lot. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to go to the slow side of the zone where the least amount of players will be sitting, trying to hold them out. The only worry that I'm going to have for them is where they're going to get their surge from. Have they got enough with those 2 eliminations already? Because as we know, those off-spawn battles, they don't give very much storm surge compared to what you're going to get through the mid and that late game.
Giannis picking up the steady hands augment there as well, just waiting to really decide what direction he's going to take his augments in. You have to also now look to study those decisions moving forwards. But here we have AJS Moby, AJS Larpex, of course, joining up together here. The Rumble Ruins is their home at the moment. They're just looking around for surge tags, nothing yet. NA options in the distance. EU options here on the mountain with Vask. What's it going to be? Here comes the Rift Island.
Ooh, this is going to get good. In day 1, we didn't see too many teams try to contest it. In day 2, it was like a house party on top of Rift Island. Everybody wanted to join, and it does look like Hannah and Vasquez might be the first ones to try to contend it. They did get it in game 1 of the lower bracket, and that was a huge part of their success very, very early on. They were able to keep up the pace and eventually qualify for our grand finals here today, and they're looking to try to mimic that. And you see there's not very many other players that are going up towards Rift Island, so that might be a free 15 points and very, very valuable slurp juices.
Exactly. For those of you in attendance here, for those of you looking back at this island is worth 15 points if you can secure the objective. It is going to draw in the lot of the players. If you can get 15 points, that is the equivalent of 3 or 4 eliminations worth of points there. So it really can set you very far ahead. This becomes a very interesting time to play the game now for Miro and Cooper, because they have decided they want to fight for it, and they are a very dangerous team when it comes down to them making a decision and sticking to it. They'll commit.
Yep, does look like, though, Vasquez and him were able to capture it. They were there first. If there's 2 people going ahead and capturing it, it goes much faster than if it's just a solo. So Cooper and Miro, they're ready for that extra prize, the alternative, the height, the elevation. That way they can get surge. But Peppo, Clip, and Zaku in another fight get through, and Mshari over on the other side, just battling for those pieces. Mshari just sitting high up on that mountain. He's not really worried about his teammate. He trusts him to play safe, and that's a massive amount of trust in a lobby just like this.
I can't believe it. I can't believe he didn't go down there and try to support. He says, hey, man, you got this. Defense comes out of room, plays very well, and now they're above the surge as Mshari is finding tags here in the process, too. Meanwhile, Zagu Peppo, 475 damage above the surge. They are in an excellent position right now. They shouldn't have to move any much further.
Yep, in the feed, though, I did see Kanata go down. I saw Mishi go down. Ooh, here. And that's the battle that they were having. You see Agers is solo against TD over on the other side. Steno and Lushi might possibly be looking to take advantage of this opportunity, but that's Acorn and Cole down their sides. They know 23 above the damage threshold. It's enough to not have to worry about Storm Surge actually doing damage, but it's not enough for comfortability. So they're on the hunt for even more, but they're just on the receiving end of so many other players trying to put their hand in the cookie jar.
One of those duos is Acorn and Cole. The Agers here, of course, trying to extract revenge now as Kanata was taken out. He still finds himself very comfortably in the safe zone here, so he'll be all right. And have some extra heals, of course, remaining. It's going to be pretty tough to play this one out. Yes, they have 2 elims. You have to see how Teeny turned that fight around. You have to wonder what went wrong. Kanata caught out, looking for tags and low on HP. Teeny and Misha waste no time finding that one.
Immediately They are well above the damage threshold as well, giving themselves a good and early start. But Queasy and Veno, they know how to play almost every facet of the game, early, mid, and late. They made some quick rotations over toward Kijitsu Crossing, and they're probably one of the most deep teams that land on that side of the map. They're over toward Shattered Slabs now, 193 above the damage threshold, and you can see that they're not necessarily going over towards Rift Island because they know in these next couple of zones, it's going to pull away from Rift Island. So they don't want to get too close. They have to rotate far if it does pull max.
You know what? We haven't seen a zone like this. Hard west, full west, right? Really giving teams on this side an opportunity to have the advantage and start off strong. Momentum is everything. And sometimes all it takes is securing that first game. TD goes for the save in the zone here. So Misho will potentially be picked up. Possibly we'll be able to situate and get back into this, but I'm not crossing my fingers here. It's a very difficult thing to bounce back when you start off with nothing.
Yeah, and they're just outside of that Rift Island position where the majority of the lobby already is. So they're just going to have to figure out what they're going to do to rotate, because going straight in is going to cause for some dangerous situations for them to try to survive. So they need to be looking for some heals, so that way they can go the long way around, find some safety, and just simply get into the zone. But Pete and Vico here, you can see the split. We talked about a contested drop, but they actually choose to go their separate ways. They're 225 above the damage threshold, and they're looking safe for now. They're trying to figure out what their rotation is going to be. It is a pretty far rotation, but not too far from some of the other players here in this lobby. The first knock is going to get cleaned up. Steno's there by himself. You can see they're not getting greedy. They're not just trying to bulldoze for it and try to grab that loot. They're just saying, hey, let's just grab the surge. That is going to be enough, but they get a rest lock momentarily. That was bold to try to make magic happen, but he goes out like a light.
That's crazy. He tried to time that, and it just backfired completely as another team also started to look inwards, and they pick up a set of eliminations there. What a huge point swing for Pink and Vico there. Meanwhile, in the feed, Peterbot down, Booga down, Trulex. So many exchanges here to catch up on, and the landscape is changing right before our eyes.
Pink in the feed, getting Steno as well. Him and Lucy look like they probably let down. That was 3 straight eliminations on that side of the map. Yeah, Threats being a solo, though, I'm not really worried about Threats being a solo because he clutched up big for their qualification spot. He got a second place. They had 9 eliminations as a duo. Now he has to do it with Surge just hovering over his shoulders.
A lot of players on the move right now. If you look at that right map, all of those arrows flying. Our teams trying to navigate their way to the new zone. You have to be very cautious. Take a look though. Raj tries to go in with a hero play here. Finds Cole, but Acorn is there to back him up. But Raj slips out of there without getting taken down. So he finds Cole and gets right on out.
I feel like that was perfect timing with Acorn trying to plan an escape. And they just bulldoze their way right in. You can see why. Barely being 118 above the damage threshold. At that stage of the game, they were probably below. So they needed to go ahead and pad that stat. Now they have Cammy and Seti in their lines of sights. They don't have to move far. They got the half zone. So for them, it's just a sit and wait scenario that allows them to be consistent. There's so many superstars around them. I already mentioned Cammy and Seti. Queasy and Vino are to their right. So this is a dangerous area of the map to be in. But I think it's a little bit more safer than all those players just to the north outside of zone.
Yeah, looking pretty dicey right now for sure. But if you're Yam Zone Raj, you're pretty happy that there's not that much going on around you. They can kind of determine who they're going to battle next. Alex and Worthy also comfortably positioned at the safe zone here. Let's jump on over to Seti and Cammy. 2 eliminations so far from the start. Nothing else since then, but we haven't solved problems this time around with the surge. So they are in a very, very sweet spot here right now. Also, just nestled so nicely here. Look, take a look down on players trying to come out below them.
Yeah, so many big names are already out of this lobby, and we haven't even been given placement points just yet, so there's still so much work to do. You can't get behind that curve as Cammy and Seti feeling like they're comfortable in their position for now, waiting for all those players to try to rotate in. The MK Papa and Shalom look like they might get a sneak attack onto Podesai and Snazy. They just need to be patient here. They go for the 3-2-1 onto the cover. No shots actually go through to Podesai. That gives them information of where they're located at. So they're going to about face and go a little bit of a different direction now.
It's like Rapid lost his teammate, Batman Booga, as he's not nearby to the hands of him, Shari, not too long ago. Here's Papa. Here's Shalom, though, still looking around, playing the bush, very nicely done. Everyone else is nestled pretty far off, so we get to jump in with Vino and Queasy, see how they are doing. A little update, a single elimination, so not really turning online too far yet as far as the overall heal situation. I'd say they're middling in the pack. Material count-wise, is it enough for them to play for high ground? I think yes, and they're probably thinking we should go for it.
Yeah, they're probably just gathering all the information around the map for now. Figure out what's the best position, who's already on height, how do we chop them down and make it our own. We've seen that happen to start our tournament on Friday. They grabbed high ground, they looked down and never looked back as they took the game. They actually qualified off that game. 93 points when 91 was the threshold. They kept playing out because it's all about bragging rights, proving that they are the best, just like Iamzo and Rise. They quickly move to the front side of the zone, so that way when it does begin to move, they secure their spot and they look back and try to hold anybody out and get eliminations.
Well, they're here early, and now they can start to determine what they're going to do. Everyone's on the move here once again. Rocket Rams coming into full effect. Meanwhile, on high ground, Cammy, Seti trying to be the first to set up. The base is wide. The base is strong. And they get the first dibs already. There are other teams cranking up, though. They don't want to just give them all this elevation for free. And the fact that they're committing with metal does mean they will have a problem. Meanwhile, Acorn does fall. So Acorn and Cold now taken out of this game. Chicho left by himself to play this one out as a solo as well. Those were his last remaining builds.
Trying to do it by himself. He's trying to play patiently, waiting for anybody to run past him, not knowing that he's there. Trying to hit a little bit of a peekaboo. And that's going to be a massive refresh because not only is he hoping to get the Siphon mad, to get the Siphon himself, to get his heals up, and that's going to be big. Duke by himself, though, on the other side, which honestly, I don't have too much of a worry. We saw a 1v2 clutch from Duke yesterday. We know anything is possible here this weekend, and now placement points are finally beginning to set in. It is very few for now, but there's still more to come if you can survive.
That was an excellent time to update the standings, updating in real time right now. So from here on out, as teams fall, placement points will be rewarded. It is really about surviving this gauntlet of action to come right now. The Surge is equally active. Worthy is going to find the solo M. Shari. Big pickup for him. And Footsie and Gripey leading here with 5 eliminations now. First time the zone team gets right in front of him and tries to see for the box up, but no, it's more important to stay safe right now. Look at the rotates here. You love to see it. Excellently done. Let's see, Gripey are really playing well right now.
Yeah, sacrificing some HP. That way they can go to the front side. The high ground battle is going to begin. Cammy and Seti, Vino and Queasy with the bounce pad. The fadeaway shot unsuccessful from Queasy and Vino. So the kings of the FNCS Invitational are still on the high ground for now. As Cammy's looking to come crashing down. He's built a little bit of a tower, so he doesn't go too far. So all the battles being forced lower and lower down in the mud. Duke trying to fight with his back up against the wall by himself. Multiple duos beginning to surround and hound him. Top 17, though. All these points as a solo are massive for their run here in this competition.
This is a battle for ego, undoubtedly. Duke looking to see what he can set up. Turns around, breaks everyone off. Fight.
Goes Cammy.
And down comes Cammy. And then he's looking to target him. Duke is the destruction here in the lobby by himself with the knock. What a beautifully timed landing spot there for Cooper. Hot on his heels here next door. They know he's here. Miro comes in. They're trying to hunt him out, but he's off to the races. Finds Pixie. Big tag. You know Duke wants to finish this one. Can he get it? In he goes. It's only going to take a single tag. He's under the ramp. Goes for it. He gets it there. Nicely done.
Takes out Cammy. Takes out the next one as well. The list of eliminations keeps on climbing before he finally falls. Into the top 10 we go. And Flixie also is solo in this game. There's 4 total solos still left alive. No builds. He's trying to make a play, but from the outside of the zone, he goes down.
It's Mappy. It's eye drop on high ground. Take a look. Reed is still alive. Seti is still alive. Playing the backside of zone. Excellently done here. But the high ground comes down a little early. He has a true chance. Seti brings him down. And now he is the one on top. Can he clutch this out by himself against all odds? We thought it was over. But Reed has other words for everyone in the lobby.
He goes down into that top 4 we go. The only solo left alive, well, you saw him moments ago. It is going to be Seti. Cooper and Miro almost won a game yesterday. It was stolen away by both Price and Chubbs. Now they're going for some toe tags on Apoyo and Speaks. NA counterparts going at it. I drop on the other side, but he gets taken down by the NA duo. Huge shot by Miro, trying to go back to back, but they fall down the mountain. That's going to allow for Apoyo to survive momentarily. But Cooper hot on the chase. He sacrifices himself to go for the elimination. Seti out of nowhere. Final two teams. Miro's trying to stay alive, but there's one duo still left alive, but it's actually a knock. Miro versus Sphinx. NA versus NA to take game number one.
Incredible that NA will secure this here, but talk about the turn of events here. Miro taking down Seti, putting his name in the conversation. People forget what Miro is capable of, but now it's a 1v1. Old blood versus the new, basically. Miro showing, hey, I'm the big dog of the region. Sphinx says, I want to prove that I can do it. We already know he's got the mouth in him, but can he put the bullets where they need to go?
He needs to put some respect on his name. Miro running out of builds. That's his last chance. He falls all the way down. Miro goes out. That is Poyo and Sphinx. That is their second victory royale on the weekend.
What an excellent job there. We already saw them take a win in the upper bracket that even bring them this far into the stage, and now they are proving that they can do it on the biggest stage against the best.
That's going to be it from us, though, because I want to hear what they have to say about being the only team with 2 wins on the weekend.
Boys, you proved you can get a victory royale on LAN in the upper bracket, and now you proved you can get a victory royale in the grand final. Talk to me about those last moments in game. Did you manage to talk less?
I would say so, a little bit less. I think my comms were more clear.
I mean, you were having to come for yourself in that 1v1. How did you manage knowing someone was above you on the high ground?
I just have the best awareness at this LAN right now. So, like, obviously I know there's a band above me. I'm just like that.
But what are you thinking, though? Because he can jump on you at any time.
I'm thinking I think 25 builds about, and I'm best fighter, best piecer. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go up, corner pump. That's what I did.
And you waited, and then he fell down, and he did the job for you. Boy, what was it like starting out today with this man?
I was dead. I didn't really do much that game, so he actually went crazy there.
And you let him just talk his way through it. You didn't give him any advice or guidance.
Nah, I just told him his maths, and he did the rest.
Now, going forward, you've got to try and maintain this consistency. You've managed to get your way through an aggressive lobby, but can you see yourself managing to top the competition again?
Yeah, we just need to live off spawn. I think we can do every game.
Right, well, good luck in those off-spawn battles, boys. Congratulations. Everyone give it up for Sphinx and Poyo!
Oi! Bravo les mecs! Ça doit être sympa les...
Poyo and Sphinx looking to set the tone on the day. If there's anything I learned from game number 1, is these next couple of games are going to be chaos.
I mean, that game was pretty much everything that we wanted, right? We saw the matchups happen towards that end game that we really wanted to see, but it was the clutches, right? We always talk about being on the global stage. It requires you to go ahead and clutch up when it requires, and honestly, Sphinx right here, this shot on the Cooper, this was the one that sealed the deal.
Yeah, that changed the tempo of the end game completely. From that moment onwards, it's like he said, he's just like that, he's going to go through and win the whole thing. And I mean, it wasn't an easy finish, right? They were going back and forth a bit. It was only the materials that was able to let Miro down, and Sphinx just had a bit more left in the tank. Even not actually, because he had none. He just was playing around with the stairs, and it wins him the game as well. Of course, again, a team that has already shown he can win on this stage, and they do it once again.
Just being able to stay calm, cool, and collect in that situation. Many duos would look at their material count, what they have in the tank, and just go, this is it. Let's start Hail Marrying. I don't know anymore. But Sphinx just said, no. I've been in grands before. I've been in these types of situations. Take a step back. We know they're up top. Let's break those builds. Let's bring them down. And unfortunately, Cooper and Miro did fall, but still a second place for them. I mean, starting the day with 84 points, that's pretty good.
That's not bad at all. But look, Poyo and Sphinx up above 89. I know their parents are out here to support them as well. When I actually flew into Copenhagen for this event, I was in the airport with Poyo's dad, and he was like, good luck to everyone. And my son's going. I want my son to win. The support his parents, as you can see. And right now, I'm sure he will be beaming.
On fait pas pour l'argent. Ça veut dire faire pour quelque chose.
Bête de...
Deuxième emplacement.
Trop tard la portée.
Y'all spawn wasn't what we
Putain, il y avait
expected.
quel
I mean, it
autre.
wasn't right, but it did so well, right? We tuned into them.
J'espère que vous allez bien.
Et ça marche pas aujourd'hui, 2023, tu fais
Dans
claquer.
cette ère spéciale. Ça me fait très plaisir de jouer, donc déjà je suis un peu plus joyeuse que d'habitude, je crois. Et je vais vous chanter surtout des chansons de mon album Les Five, qui est sorti il y a 1 an et demi, mais je sais plus si ça fait 1 mois ou 7 ans, du coup. Donc voilà, ceux qui ne connaissent pas, c'est un album plutôt triste, que j'ai relu beaucoup après la pandémie, avec beaucoup de chansons un peu apocalyptiques en fait. Je n'ai pas trop réalisé, mais beaucoup d'espoir quand même. Il n'y a jamais de descente aux enfers totale. C'est genre, je m'arrête juste avant pour remonter, quoi. Donc j'espère que vous serez OK pour descendre et remonter avec moi. C'est important que vous soyez dans la même énergie que moi, ou pas, d'ailleurs.
And ending third place, my bad, Seti. I mean, I know you're king of consistency and stuff. If you just do that a couple more times, we're in for the running. Crazy and Veno as well performing. I thought it was interesting. Like, I love seeing how all of these players in the lobby kind of act. We saw there in the mid game, Seti camping on the high ground, Crazy Veno on the front side of zone. So all these duels are just looking for those windows, right?
Yeah, for sure. And in this end game, with all these duels here, I do want to give a big shout out to James. Was going ballistic, right? He wanted to put it into everybody's game that he could as a solo, right? So a bunch of really sick solo clashes. That's pain, but I didn't realize that's how losing it down there. The full level again, everybody's so far in game one.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, that was pretty much the head-to-head battle that we wanted to see on the high jump. Honestly, though, Cammy and Seti picked up 4 points for that. I was really impressed with you here. I thought some of those IGL late game calls were really good.
Yeah, super crispy stuff. And I mean, when you think about their performance just this weekend alone, I mean, this is starting to look real good, right? I still think there is quite a bit of first game jitters, right? Even coming from upper and lower bracket, the stakes are maybe a little bit different. Right now, you have your state of 6 games to show up. The stadium is packed. Every single elimination that happens on that feed, the crowd is going crazy. That seems to be playing a bit of a factor right now. And so I feel like the players that can kind of hold on will kind of make it far. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's all about you soaking it all. You really got to use the crowd here, man. Like, kind of play off that walking them out as well.
I mean, one person that got to hear the crowd more than anybody else trying to give him was CG and Malabuka, right? You know, they went down those first fight, right? Up against Cloud and Aegis, they went down off the wheel start, right? You want to get into the sort of thing, especially with all the cheese Thomas and them were getting coming into things. Again, when you go back into that off-one fight the next time round, how do you now come into it mentally? You don't want to have to sit there and watch the whole game all over again.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight very quickly just a couple of these strategies where we've been talking about secret pocket strats. Portisai, Snazy coming out with the let's go ahead and take the kinetic rock all the way across the map. Let's take this body. Let's get surged. Absolutely crazy. I do want to talk more about this, but I'm getting word. We are ready to get back to the action. We have game number 2 upon us. So, Captors, over to you.
Games. That's all we want this weekend is more games. And that first one, Monster, that was so exciting to really start off the day.
It was perfect. EU versus NA, and the big names really showing up. We saw the rivalry for high ground. So already the early stories are going to begin. But most importantly, 14 Elans on the early game. Let's see it here for game number 2.
We're in it. We're here to win it all. A huge early game that was won by both Boyo and Speaks, and they carried it all the way to the end. I said they were the first team to get to this weekend. Will they be the first team to go back to back and get their third victory royale on the weekend? Only time will tell for that one. But the rematch probably everybody here in the arena wants to see. Thomas, Dangers, let's get it. Speaks is going to be able to watch it from distance there too. So, who's going to be the first three shots coming in this time? It's Malabuka gets tagged, so does Dangers. So both sides already. And Malabuka gets the weapon. He finds Dangers with a huge tag. Not is already down. And they're finished. They're done. That was a huge start for Malabuka. Gets that havoc suppressed. And immediately goes for it was him. It was actually him. Getting tagged out of the sky.
Il est passé.
We saw the contested fight in the replay. The first game, Cammy and Seti get pushed off the actual board. So it is going to start as a little bit of a split drop here over towards Frenzy Fields. It really shows us that they were caught off guard game one for the 50-50. Here's GK, here's Quanti, over the spot shores. They are also contested down in this area by Tayson. And you can see that they just barely got away with it. Actually, she flips as well. Looks like Maurice Heath here, actually. I'm sure he's just not big enough.
Je veux tourner dans la lune, entendre les cigouillas pleurer. Quand j'ai marché dans l'allée, j'ai respiré mon entier pour une fois.
With their drop spots to try to sneak up on some teams, that inevitably was what got them across the finish line. And it was only a matter of time before Baka and Park moved in this direction, no matter what the result was. This is what the entire sitting back and thinking about, okay, what haven't we tried yet in the upper bracket and lower bracket that we're sitting on, that we're waiting on, that we can put into play championship Sunday.
Des caresses que l'on retiendra, les mots de l'eau confiés aussi, les failles de ces jours où l'amour s'avance. Oh, prenons le temps qu'il faut pour laisser passer les cours d'eau jusqu'au dernier bateau. On prendra celui qu'il nous faut. S'il te blesse, les feux de joie, de sagesse, on les couvrira. Brouiller les contours de nos armes blancs. La nuit, les brisseaux d'un amour qui danse. Oh, prenons le temps qu'il faut pour laisser passer les cours d'eau jusqu'au dernier bateau. On prendra celui qu'il nous faut. L'appel, le secours de nos cœurs en transe, les cris de l'amour nous rendent impatience. Oh, prenons le temps pour laisser passer les cours d'eau jusqu'au dernier bateau. On prendra celui qu'il nous faut. Prenons le temps qu'il faut pour laisser passer les cours d'eau jusqu'au dernier bateau. On trouvera avec qui nous faut. Rock and roll, babes. On arrive à un de mes moments préférés du spectacle, qui est un spectacle que j'ai créé spécialement pour vous, parce que d'habitude j'ai des musiciennes. Mais là, je me disais, pour recommencer en douceur et pas brusquer personne avec mon rock'n'roll hardcore, je me suis dit que c'était pas mal d'être seule. Et donc, je ne sais pas si vous connaissez Le Voyage de Chihiro, qui est mon film préféré au monde entier. Franchement, j'ai cherché à le détrôner, mais j'ai jamais réussi. Alors si
Bien, mais
vous avez des suggestions de dessins animés, parce que c'est pas un film, mais un dessin animé mais meilleur que Chihiro, avec une meilleure histoire, des meilleurs dessins, des meilleurs personnages, je prends. En fait, il y a une petite chanson à la fin. Elle ne veut pas s'accorder. Voilà. Non. Il y a une petite chanson de générique de fin que j'aime chanter, qui me rappelle mon enfance et qui m'apaise. Et c'est un peu à cause de Chihiro que j'ai commencé à apprendre le japonais. Je ne suis pas du tout forte en japonais, parce que les gens, à chaque fois que je dis ça, ils me disent « Ouais, du coup, tu peux me dire ça ?» et genre me parler du triangle isocèle en japonais. Je suis en mode « Non, pas du tout. » Mais voilà, je vais vous la chanter. Vous pouvez pas la chanter avec moi, sauf si vous êtes japonais, du coup. Mais vous pouvez l'entonner, faire la 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 chez vous. Là, c'est la partie où vous pouvez chanter. J'espère que vous allez chanter. Hein. C'est important pour ramener le beau temps. Je crois trop que les gens ils sont comme moi dans le délire médiéval, mais en fait pas du tout. Tout le monde n'est pas fan du Moyen-Âge. Non, c'est pas vrai. Non, c'est un instrument qui est allemand à la base et que moi j'ai découvert parce que quand j'étais ado, j'écoutais que de la country exclusivement. Et j'étais monomaniaque et j'ai découvert John Carter dans le film, enfin pas dans le film, mais j'ai vu ce film sur la vie de Johnny Cash qui s'appelle Walk the Line, que je vous conseille. Et dans ce film-là, John Carter joue de l'autoharpe. Et j'étais en mode genre, je veux ça, je veux cet instrument. On dirait que ça transforme la personne qui en joue en druide automatiquement et je veux être un druide. Et donc j'en ai acheté une. Et voilà, c'est un instrument qui est un hybride entre une harpe et un accordéon. Un peu, il y a des petites touches. Quand j'appuie sur les touches, ça actionne des tampons et puis ça fait des accords. C'est pour ça que c'est automatique comme une auto-harpe. Et je sais pas, je me sens comme une bonne personne quand j'en joue. Et je trouve ça important. Si les rues sont si grandes, c'est pour respirer. J'ai un oiseau dans le vent, je l'ai transporté jusqu'à toi pour le sauver. Entomber sur tes cieux, un voile de flocons, c'est le voile qui habille les toits des maisons quand le ciel Pour les oiseaux, ils viennent s'y reposer quand leur cœur est beau.
C'est toi qui as proposé à Billy les chaussures en jaquette.
J'ai frappé à ta porte sans te prévenir.
Putain, c'est quoi ce bordel?
Des amours, t'as su me cueillir dans tes bras pour me guérir. Je reviendrai m'attendre près du parc Laurier. Si tu savais m'attendre.